Okay. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Onik, can you read the name of the surah?
Surah al-Falaq.
And the next part?
Oh, it's Makkiyah.
Okay. Do you remember what Makkiyah means? Yep.
It means it was released in Makkah before Muhammad moved to Medina.
Yeah, before the Prophet Muhammad moved to Medina. Okay, it doesn't necessarily mean it has to be revealed in Makkah. Remember what he said? So there's a Makkiyah and there's a Madaniyah. Makkiyah is any surah which was revealed before he moved to Medina. Yeah, whether it was in Makkah or outside of Makkah or wherever. Yeah, so Makkiyah before migration, Madaniyah after migration. Okay, and then we learned, this was a long time ago, so let's see how much you guys remember. Brief background regarding the surah. So Surah al-Falaq and Surah al-Nas, remember Falaq is part 1 and Surah al-Nas is part 2, isn't it? Why were they revealed?
Wasn't it someone who combed Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam's hair, did black magic on him by taking some of that hair?
And he tied it in 3 knots.
Doing knots and stuff, yeah.
11 knots.
Oh, that was 3.
Yeah, so they tied knots on it and they done black magic on the Prophet Muhammad using his hair. And you know where they put the hair?
In fire.
They wrapped it up in a leaf, and do you remember?
Put in a well.
Yeah, in the bottom of a well. Okay, and there's a person called Labid ibn A'sam. So he done it out of jealousy and dislike. So that's normally why people do black magic. So they done that to the Prophet ﷺ, and he was affected for it. Anyone remember for around how long?
6 months.
Yeah, 6 months it affected him. And what did it do to him? Yeah.
It made him forget.
Yeah, so he'd forget things. So he'd do something or pray salah, and then he'd forget. Okay, did I just do this and things like that. So it had effects on the Prophet ﷺ. And some people actually they wonder. How does a prophet get affected by black magic? Shouldn't he be protected by it? So a lot of people ask that question. But the answer is, magic is something which is physical, happens physically. It's like a person, let's say you put your hand in the fire. You're going to get hurt, isn't it? So because it's a physical thing. So likewise, so if a prophet put his hands in his fire, then he'd get hurt, isn't it? Because it's a physical thing. Likewise, magic, it does the same thing. So just because we can't see it, doesn't mean it's not physical. So that's why prophets can even get affected by it as well. That was the brief background regarding it. And then we mentioned that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was asleep, and then 2 angels came to him, if you remember. One on his head side, one on his feet side, and they were discussing it. They were talking about it. So one angel asked the other angels, what happened to this person? And the angel said, he's been done black magic on. And they said, who was it? And then they said, where is the black magic? So it's just a discussion they were having with one another. And then the Prophet heard all of this, and then he woke up, and then Allah gave him both these surahs revealed, Surah al-Falaq and Surah al-Nas. And these 2 surahs that have 11 verses. So every time the Prophet Muhammad would read one verse, one knot would break. And then read the second verse, then another knot would break. So that's why these 2 surahs were revealed. So these 2 surahs are very powerful against jinns, shaitans, devils, things like that. And the Prophet Muhammad used to read them. Anyone know when?
At night.
He'd read them especially after Fajr Salah, so 3 times. So Surah Ikhlas, Surah al-Ikhlas, Qul Huwallahu Ahad. He'd read Surah Falaq and Surah Nas especially 3 times after Fajr and 3 times after Maghrib Salah. And he'd read them at night as well, before he used to go to sleep. So he'd read the 3 surahs 3 times each. Surah Ikhlas 3 times, Surah Falaq 3 times, Surah Nas 3 times. And then he'd take his hands like this, he'd blow in his hand, and then he'd wipe over his whole body. And that was to protect him in the night. So that's what these 3 surahs are very powerful. And they're called the 3 quls. Surah Ikhlas, Qul Huwallahu Ahad, Surah Falaq, and then Surah Nas. These are the 3 quls. Do you have a question? Okay, so now let's go through these 2 surahs. Okay, so I'm going to say it and I want you to repeat it. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
I could hear some in there. I shouldn't hear that. Rahmanir Rahim. Yeah? Okay, so let's start. Next line. So first is a big qaf, then it's a dhu, then it's a ra, full mouth. Bi rabbil. It's not bi rabbil. It's not ra, it's ra. Bi rabbil. And then a qalqala at the end. Falaq. So let's read it. قل أعوذ برب الفلق
قل أعوذ برب الفلق.
Okay, so that was good. So the qalqala at the end was good, but I think I heard a kul with a ka. Yeah? So I had a kul. Okay? Kul in Arabic means to eat. So when you want to tell someone to eat, you tell them kul. But the qaf, kul, means to say. So if you say kul, it will change the meaning completely. So let's say it again. قل أعوذ برب الفلق
قل أعوذ برب الفلق.
Ani, can you say it?
قل أعوذ برب الفلق.
Tia?
قل أعوذ برب الفلق.
But say the lam as well. برب make it a bit clearer.
برب الفلق.
فلق. Okay, next line. من شر ما خلق
من شر ما خلق.
Okay, I think everyone made one mistake here. How many full mouth letters are in the ayat? Where are the full mouth letters?
من شر
Well done, Ari's got them. What are they? Kha and
Qa.
Qa. Yeah? So the Kha is full mouth and the Qaf is also full mouth. So it's not Khalaq, it's Kha. And the Lam, that's empty mouth. So Kha, La. So this is actually quite difficult. So you have to switch. Kha, La, and then the Qa. Yeah, that's it. Khalaq.
خلق.
Well done, that was good. Let's read that line again. من شر ما خلق.
من شر ما خلق.
Another thing, see the ra. Remember the ra rule. If it has a kasra on it, ayazir, it's empty mouth, isn't it? Yeah, so you have to recite. You have to read the kasra clearly. So it's not sharri, shari. So you have to like smile a bit, open your mouth wide. Shari.
شر.
Yeah. So kasra makes an e sound, not a ra. So it's not ra, shari, shari.
شر.
Yeah. So let's say it again. من شر ما خلق.
من شر ما خلق.
Well done. And again, making sure you do the qalqala, which you guys did at the end. So qalqala is like an echoing sound, isn't it? Okay, next line. In the next line, before we read it, where are the full mouth letters? Can someone point to the full mouth letters? Where are the full mouth letters? Well done. I spotted them before you, and all of you guys. Yeah. The ghain, so gha, yeah. So it's not ghasi, ghasi, and then waqa, the qaf, waqab. So it's not waqab, waqa. Okay, so let's read it. وَمِن شَرِّ غَاسِقٍ إِذَا وَقَبَ.
ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب.
Well done. So making sure you pronounce both the qafs. So غَاسِقٍ and the waqa. And doing a qalqal at the end. So read this one more time. وَمِن شَرِّ غَاسِقٍ إِذَا وَقَبَ.
ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب.
Next line. Are there any full mouth letters in there? In the next slide? Yes, well done. Tia spotted it first. The qaf. Okay. Okay, but what we do need to remember is to do the ikhfa. We haven't learned the ikhfa rule yet. It's wa min sharri, and then the ra will join to the noon, isn't it? And the noon has a shadda, so we need to remember to do that shadda. Sharrin, and then the fa and the tha will be stretched. Wa min sharrin naffathati fil uqad.
ومن شر النفاثات في العقد.
And make sure you pronounce the shadda on the fa. And like we mentioned how to read the shadda, you stop on that letter for about half a second. So naffa. Yes, let's read this one more time. وَمِن شَرِّ النَّفَّاثَاتِ فِي الْعُقَدِ.
ومن شر النفاثات في العقد.
Okay, make sure the fa and the tha, you stretch them the same amount. So one shouldn't be longer than the other. Let's try it again. وَمِن شَرِّ النَّفَّاثَاتِ فِي الْعُقَدِ.
ومن شر النفاثات في العقد.
Well done, that was good. And you guys done the qalqala at the end as well in the dal. And the last line. So again the ikhfa, وَمِن شَرِّ, and again the ra. Make sure you read the kasr on the ra clearly. Sharri, make it smiling. And then a big ha on hasidin, and then another big ha on hasa, and the qalqala at the end. Dal. I'll read it first. وَمِن شَرِّ حَاسِدٍ إِذَا حَسَدَ.
ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد.
Well done, that was good. Okay, so now I'll read the surah once, just to go over it. So I want everyone to follow. And then I'm going to ask someone to read it, if anyone's brave enough. Okay. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Everyone follow the finger. قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد. Okay, does someone to read it? Yeah? Okay, let's try it.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Okay, loud and clear.
Should I just start the surah?
Yeah, just start surah.
قل أعوذ برب الفلق
The ق sound. فلق.
فلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب.
Say the q sound on the غاسق a bit more.
غاسق إذا وقب. ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد.
Well, then that was good. Just need to work on the q sound a bit more. Yeah, and everything else was mostly fine. And do you want to try once?
قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق.
And you know the echo sound, don't do it too much so it sounds like you're saying a fatha. So it shouldn't sound like you're saying khalaqa. So just a slight echo.
خلق.
Yeah, khalaqa.
خلق.
Yeah, that's it.
ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب.
But don't you stretch the shari slightly. Shari gha. Yeah?
Should I start again? Should I start that line again?
Yeah, just read that line again. وَمِن شَرِّ.
وَمِن شَرِّ غَاسِقٍ إِذَا وَقَبَ.
Yeah, that's good.
وَمِن شَرِّ النَّفَّاثَاتِ فِي الْعُقَدِ.
Again, same thing. You know the ra, sharri. Join that straight to the nun. So don't stretch the ri. Sharrin. Oh, sorry. Sharrin.
وَمِن شَرِّ النَّفَّاثَاتِ فِي الْعُقَدِ. وَمِن شَرِّ حَاسِدٍ إِذَا حَسَدَ.
Well done, that was good. Just the qalqala, it's a bit too much. It sounds a bit too much like a fatha, but everything else was good.